Hello, my name is Jasmine Cervantes, and I will be presenting my proposal on crime prevention within the youth. Jessica LaHaye, writer from The Atlantic, wrote, 200,000 youth enter the adult criminal justice system each year, most for non-violent crimes. On any given day, 10,000 juveniles are housed in adult prisons and jail. The impact on a kid's psyche is very dramatic since in these adults' prisons, kids are targets to sexual, physical, and emotional abuse by the older inmates, having to endure a difficult environment. Brian Stevenson depicted in his book, Just Mercy, the traumatic experiences that a child in an adult prison must endure, leaving a kid deeply confused. The preliminary data from 2015 and 2016 stated that per 100,000 juveniles ranging from ages 10 to 17, crimes committed for murder were 2.6, for robbery were 57.6, motor vehicle theft 47.7, simple assault 382.3, disorderly conduct 195.5, arson 7.3, curfew and loitering 102.2, and liquor law violations were 110.2. Some reasons stated as a teen risk factor were peer group pressures, high portions of unsupervised time with peers, since when there is unsupervised kids, there is a greater opportunity for peer pressure to occur, which is one person influencing another to do something. Another reason stated as a teen risk factor is poor parental discipline and supervision, since when there is a lack of discipline, the child has not previously experienced punishment for the actions committed. Lastly, children from low-income communities, since the child might be in need or wanting something, this may lead to the child being involved in the gangs to get easy money or for the child to steal. Kenneth E. Hartman, author of Mother California, was in and out of jail since a young age. He depicted his struggles and reasons for his crime.
As a kid, I didn't feel that I was loved. And I realize that can sound really trite and so that doesn't justify anything. But for a kid who doesn't feel loved, then he becomes to hate himself. And then it sort of comes out from him to hate everybody around him, and most people in prison have experienced similar things. They feel like they're not wanted, they feel like they're useless, they're worthless. So when I was a kid, I didn't feel loved.
At the age of 19, he was convicted for murdering a homeless man after a night of partying and violence. Because of his criminal record, he was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. He was released from prison last year. His sentence was commuted by Governor Brown. The recidivism rate in 2007 for juvenile offenders was 53% for boys in comparison to 46% to girls. When children are repeatedly being told that they are bad, not going anywhere, and what's the reason for trying, the children begin to believe this and no longer desire to achieve greatness. I have tutored kids previously in jail and are in a halfway house. When asked them what they wanted to be when they were older, their response was really associated with fast money, as drug dealing, prostitution, and so on. When I would reply, why not another job, they insisted what was the point of trying if they were not going to get into college with their past. The kids were so broken by the system and forgotten by their parents, they no longer believed in themselves, no longer having aspirations. They lived in a home that cared more of the regulating and correcting them than building the child. For this reason, I have created my proposal to inspire. My proposal is to help at-risk youth through a community-based program with the involvement of counseling professionals, probation officers, and rehabilitated individuals. Some qualifications to be involved in the program is to be a retired or an active gang member, have a completion of higher education during incarceration, having no violent behavior from the previous 3 years prior to the application process, and having a similar background from the juveniles attending the program. Individuals that I believe fit my qualifications are the men from Words Uncaged from the Lancaster prison. Although these men have been set to live their lives without the possibility of parole in prison, they have dedicated themselves to high-level courses to better themselves. I personally had communication with these men, and I believe they have been rehabilitated and have written their wrongs. The at-risk child will be in a triangular bond with the counselor or officer and a reformed convict. The triangle will be a base for family for the child. There will be a weekly meeting and activities for the three to meet and create strong bonds. The activities will be field trips, sports, and craft activities. There will be a tutoring center in which the child is encouraged to attend, since the other two individuals are to check the child's social, educational, and behavioral progress in school to make sure the child is in a good path to success. Some believers on the tough on crime policy may argue that my proposal may only influence the youth to continue their crime because of the association with ex-convicts. On the other hand, since the kids and the adults have similar past, I believe they will have the ability to connect and socialize in a greater capacity than if they were in a strict setting. The individuals hired will have to go evaluations every 6 months by the kids and supervisors, firstly to make sure the qualifications are being met, and evaluations by the kids to make sure that the kids are learning and connecting with the adults. In addition, I believe that my policy will help with the reoccurring issue of the placement of newly released individuals. My policy will help place the qualified individuals in an employment pool. There are similar programs and policies as the one I am proposing that have succeeded and had a positive impact on at-risk youth. One program is the Big Brother, Big Sisters of America. It is similar as my proposal since a child is assigned to be a little sister or brother to someone else. Through this, the child learns leadership, trust, and how to form relationships. And most importantly, decision making to help the child decide what's best for them, ultimately preventing a criminal future.